Hello everyone and welcome to the 2020 SMJFL presentation night. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We're so glad you can make it. For those of you that don't know, I'm Cam Watts and I'm the SMJFL Umpire Academy Manager and I'm your host for this evening. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the land that our Football League takes place on and its traditional owners, the Boonwurrung people, their leaders past, present and emerging, and the elders from other communities who may be here today. Although our season was unfortunately cancelled in its traditional format due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we still have lots to celebrate and many incredible community members to recognise tonight. We have an exciting lineup tonight, so make sure you stay tuned. We will be awarding the Monash University Leader of the Year, the Storage King Volunteer of the Year, the OpenCorp Club Administrator of the Year Award. Don't miss our conversation with special guest speaker, cricketing legend Mel Jones, and this year's 10-year players. I'd like to also warmly welcome our special guests here tonight, Danielle Salmon and Daniel Keenan from Monash University, the league's major sponsor, Sarah Fuel from Storage King, the major sponsor of this year's Volunteer of the Year Award, Cameron McLellan and Justin Ellis from OpenCorp, the major sponsor of the league's Club Administrator of the Year Award and the major partner of the SMJFL Community Fund, Michelle Wee and Sam Kamani from Monarch, the major partner of the SMJFL Umpire Academy, and representatives from all our league's partners and supporters. I'd like to also welcome our board members, Chairman Lewis Byrnes, Vice Chair Tracy Davies, Jamie Gray, Matt Webb, Don Robertson, Richard Bowen and Louise Nelson. Thank you also to our council delegates from Bayside, Glen Ira, Kingston, Monash, Port Phillip and Stonington City Councils in our region and Parks, Victoria. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognise and thank all of the SMJFL staff for their hard work throughout the year. 2020 has not been an easy year and there have been many ups and downs. To all of the staff at the SMJFL, thank you so much for continuing to adapt to the ever-evolving circumstances and for working tirelessly to make the 2020 season possible at all times. Now, let's take a look back at some of the highlights from 2020. Well, there you go. Although 2020 didn't pan out exactly the way I think we all expected, there's still plenty of great moments to look back on. Now, I did promise that we have many special guests appearing this evening, so let's take a look at this very special message sent in to SMJFL HQ from the hub up north.
Hey guys, Ryan Byrnes here. Max King here from St Kilda Football Club.
Hope you're all having a great night. Obviously it's been a tough year not being able to play in the SMJFL, but hopefully we can get back to it next year.
Yeah, I had some great memories playing for the Zebras as a young kid, so just keep enjoying your football and hopefully you're out there next year.
I also had some fond memories playing for St Paul's McKinnon, so yeah, we just look forward to hopefully seeing you back out there next year.
Wow, isn't that great words there from two SMJFL stars making waves in the red, black and white in 2020, Max King and Ryan Byrnes. Thank you so much to Max and Ryan and to the St Kilda Football Club for that message. What a great inaugural season from you both with the Sainers. Now, everyone, it's time for us to present the most prestigious award of the night, the Monash University Leader of the Year. The award recognises an SMJFL player or umpire who has demonstrated exceptional leadership qualities and has stood out from the crowd with their enthusiasm, innovation, determination and giving back to the junior football community. The Monash Leaders of the Month and the Monash Leader of the Year are selected by a panel from our major partner, Monash University. There are some great contenders for this year's award and they're all joining us live. Thank you everyone for coming on. I hope you're all doing really well. And once again, I'd like to thank you all for all of your hard work that you've done this year, especially in such a challenging year. Let's take a look back at some of the nominees.
Hello, I'm Luke. I'm 11 and I play for Hight Bulldogs.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm 11. I play for Hight Bulldogs.
We both have people that we know who have diabetes, so we raise money for that, and yeah.
Originally, I was going to do a fundraiser for something else, and then Luke wanted to join, and then we had a discussion about it and found that but people in our family have diabetes, so we decided to do it for that.
I've been playing for 3 years and I am 9 years old. I love football a lot and I wanted to help people play because parents might have lost their job and couldn't afford the registration. My goal was to kick 1,000 goals in 10 days and I accomplished that. I raised $944. $945.
I got into the coaching role through one of the guys at the club, Ben McGee. He got me through to becoming a coach, and the under-8s didn't have a spot at the time. They thought that I'd be a good person for the job. I saw the job as a great chance to give back to the club because I've had some very good coaches over the years, over my football journey at South. There's more leadership to knowing your players because each player is different, and the quicker you get to know your players and their individual strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, it just helps you become a better coach.
I just really wanted to cut my hair, and I thought I could do some kind of fundraiser instead of just doing it for myself. I could help out a few other people. I had heard quite a few people do it, and then one of my cousins did it as well, so I thought, why not give it a shot? It was kind of intimidating. It was a very big change.
We hear that you have a bunch of different responsibilities at the club. So you're a player, you're an umpire with the SMJFL, and you also help out with St Peter's Auskick program. How do you think that you show leadership to other kids?
I think the best way that you can show leadership to other kids is just to act the way that you think that they should act. So you just got to set a good example for them, and they will mirror it, especially when they're little kids. They do like to copy the older people and the grown up. So if you act in a respectful, humble way, then the kids hopefully will follow.
Someone that makes a good Monash leader is someone the ability to get to read others. You have the ability to stand up, and you're confident within yourself. Because if you don't have confidence within yourself, you probably don't win the outcome that you and find the outcome that you probably want?
By passing the ball around, letting everyone have a chance to kick the ball and...
I think a good Monash leader is someone who's going to be inspiring to other people, have a nice attitude towards everything, humble about themselves, and yeah.
What do you think makes a good leader?
Like being a really good role model.
Well, what I think a good leader is, you're not necessarily good at something, but you're encouraging, you're very motivational, and you're really good at supporting other people.
Joining us this evening to present the award for the Monash University Leader of the Year is Daniel Keenan from Monash University. Thanks so much for coming on tonight, Dan. How are you doing?
Thanks, Cam. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm doing great. We had some amazing nominations this year, so I thought I'd just go through a couple of them. We had Lucas and Sam raising over $3,000 for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Ryan McKenzie volunteering his time to coach the under-8s at the South Melbourne District's Junior Football Club. Caitlin Tampion raising awareness for the Leukemia Foundation. Ethan Rundle assisting with the St. Peter's Auskick program and working as an SMJFL umpire. But the overall winner of the Monash University Leader of the Year for 2020 is Tommy Haydon.
Thank you. You all did very well, and I just want to thank you for the award.
That's great.
You're all very worthy of the award.
That's awesome, Tommy. I'll just run through some of your achievements for the year. So you showed amazing leadership and initiative in the early stages of the pandemic when you found out there were just a lot of families that wouldn't be able to afford for their kids to play footy this year. But you thought about how devastated you would be if your parents couldn't afford to play footy. So you decided to start fundraising for your junior football club. You launched your 100 goals to kick away COVID so we can play, and you raised $945. As a result of this, 3 players who could not have otherwise afforded to play, if you were able to this year, were able to. Tommy is the perfect recipient of the Monash Leadership Award for 2020.
Yeah,
Thank you for that, Dan, and congratulations, Tommy. How does it feel to be recognised as the Monash University Leader of the Year?
Yeah, it feels great.
I'm sure it does. You've all done amazing work. It's very well deserved. So as the Monash University Leader of the Year, you'll also receive a special Monash University prize pack. And just once again, congratulations to all of our Monash University leaders, and thank you so much for coming for this special ceremony. Thank you again to Monash University for your continued support and for helping us to recognise deserving members of our community.
Thanks a lot, Cam.
Today we have a very special guest in the house. She has achieved over 1,000 runs in her Test career. She's the original Change Our Game ambassador. She's a commentator, Director of Cricket Australia and an Order of Australia recipient. Welcome, Mel Jones. How are you going?
I'm exceptionally good, Cam, but I'm feeling very underdressed, or at least my background. You look like you really are at an awards night, and I'm just in my study. No, apologies. I'll step it up next time.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, I'm just glad to be out of the trackies and a T-shirt, that's for sure. So how have you been keeping active and well during lockdown?
Yeah, look, there's a bit of cabin fever definitely settling in. More so because over this time of the year, usually for me, I'm overseas. I'm either over with the IPL in India, and then from there I usually go to England for the summer. So to be home in Melbourne for winter is very, very strange. And then to be in my own home feels, yeah. So I've done a lot of renovations, get out and about when I can. And I think the beauty of it too is that when you're home, other opportunities pop up. So I've been really engaged with the board. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the cricket world. And just looking at ways of keeping the momentum going, particularly for the women's side of things as well. So there's a lot on, but I'd love to be able to get out a bit more.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you've been finding things to do, which can be difficult, that's for sure. But yeah, as you say, cricket is really heating up now, and I know the men's are back doing practice matches and everything and firing up. So it's good to hear that there's still a lot in the works, that's for sure. So it's incredible. Every day in lockdown seems like it goes on for a while, but gee, we're already in September, and not that long ago was the T20 Women's World Cup, which was an absolute spectacle, like the biggest crowd seen at any women's cricket match. It was just phenomenal. What did it mean to you to see that spectacle right in front of you, and the success that came with it?
Yeah, look, it was quite cliche, but it was a pinch yourself kind of moment. I still, probably 18 months out from that event, still thought, really, they're going for a world record attendance? This, just can't really see it happening. I had a feeling we'd get a lot there. But to see that happen, and even if you'd have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said, you're kidding me. This just definitely would never have happened. So for me, like standing on the ground, it was like a thank you moment to everyone that believed in the game for so long, right? From I'm with Essendon Maribyrnong Park Cricket Club, and we've been going since 1905. So the women's game has been there and doing magnificent things for so long, but it's just always been in the shadows. And then all of a sudden, through some really brave calls from a variety of different people, from Cricket Australia and the ICC and the like, all of a sudden it was front and centre. It was on the big show. So fantastic to see that the belief that people had in the game, could really pay off, not just for women's cricket or women's sport, but I think just for sport in general, because you saw just a magnificent array of faces at the G that day. And I think that was probably, what brought a tear to the eye most of all.
Oh, definitely. I know that, being around cricket for a while myself, even to someone who hasn't been involved in female cricket per se, it just meant a lot to see so many people there, and to get the chocolate as well with a win was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, sort of forget about that, don't we? Like, all about the people and everything that it means, just sort of the bigger picture kind of thing. But also, you sort of got to come back to, we are watching one of Australia's best ever sports teams. Any sport, any gender. This squad and extended squad of people that have sort of come in and out over the last few years have done unbelievable things, and they're just jam packed full of amazing athletes doing super stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. So, a little bit about your career. So you've had a long and successful one today, which is absolutely fantastic, and obviously maybe a few challenges along the way. What has been probably your biggest challenge, and how was that overcome?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know what, when I probably look over it all, when you start playing cricket, as I think, whether it's footy or cricket or any sport, it's always, backyard or in the schoolyard and all those sorts of things. And you sort of, because you love it, and then you're sort of getting involved in it. And I had some magnificent people along the way to certainly help me get through to the Australian level. And there's a lot of challenges to get through to that stage. And then we were purely amateur, so we didn't get paid back in the day. So you're juggling cricket, you're playing, and then work and study and all of those sorts of things. A variety of different jobs, but I reckon probably the biggest challenge at the moment is right now. And a lot of that because of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, and how that's affecting the game. So I'm new on the board at Cricket Australia. So I'm 6 months in, and we've had to deal with bushfires and World Cups and COVID and the like. So it hasn't been an easy transition into that sort of life. And then dealing with the impacts it's having, particularly on the women's game as well. We've had World Cups postponed and tours cancelled, and then juggling that with still the commentary side of things, and then prepping for games. So managing time, I think, has probably been one of the biggest ones, to make sure that at the end of the day, we just want to see people on the park. I know with the SMJFL as well, that having the season cancelled, that you want to at least in some way, shape or form be able to get out and kick the footy as well. And that's what it all boils down to. So for me, that's the biggest challenge for me at the moment, is just making sure that people are happy and healthy and getting out and doing what they love.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail there. That is the most important thing during this time. And people are struggling, but there's definitely different avenues to find that happiness and enjoyment again. And can't wait to be back hitting around the ball, that's for sure, and kicking the footy. And that's what the kids want and need, that's for sure.
Completely.
So we heard you're now the head of leadership and culture at Essendon Maribyrnong Park, which is absolutely fantastic. Can you speak a little bit more to the role and what it means to be back, like having a role in community sport again?
Yeah, everyone loves a title, don't they? I had no say on that one. I was going for Culture Queen or something like that, but they said no. So,
pretty trendy.
Look, it's an interesting one. I coached the club for 10 years, back from 4-5 season through to 14-15. And back then, when I joined the club, it was a really social club, which was fantastic. But what we also wanted to do was try and produce Australian players. So we needed to try and get a balance between those two aspects. So a lot of the stuff that I brought to the club was about, and there's sort of the cliché sort of words of the day, isn't it? Values and culture and all those sorts of things. But we just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page. And when you strip it all back, Justin Langer, I had an interview with him the other day, and he spoke about culture, and he said it comes from the Latin word meaning care. And basically that's it. We just want to have a care element across the club where, as soon as someone walks into the club rooms or is at the ground or puts on the red and black of the club, that everyone is mindful of everyone else's position. So whether or not they're there as a social element or wanting to play for Australia, that everyone can sort of help out where they possibly can. So the Culture Queen has a view over that for the summer, and particularly if we're not playing too much. I think that's probably going to have to probably jump in a little bit more just to make sure that everyone's still feeling part of the bigger picture of the club, even though we're sort of doing it via mediums like this.
Yeah, definitely. And I've always been a big believer that cohesion in a team is equally as important as skills. And I think, bringing in that good culture, that will definitely help that in a time like this, more than ever.
Yeah, without a doubt. I've played in teams at a high level where you win a title, and it's fantastic to win that title. But I can remember winning a club title back in 2005-06, when we hadn't won one in 18 years, the club. And that still sticks out to me as one of my greatest things of being involved in, because they're people that you train with day to day, and their backstory, and they're your best mates and all those sorts of things. And it was more about the feeling of it all rather than the actual trophy and medal at the end of the day in comparison to World Cups and the like. And people sort of look at me going, "Oh, you can't be serious. You've won World Cups and Ashes and all those sorts of things," which was unbelievable. And I would not change that for the world. And the Aussie girls were brilliant bunch of girls back then, but we only really saw each other on a tour. Whereas, club stuff, that's the heart and soul of everything for me. So yeah, and that's all about culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So in the last 4 or 5 years, due to many reasons, but in particular, for the footy side of things, AFLW, the cricket side of things, the cricket women's, it's the numbers of, female participation at community level, and in particular the SMJFL has soared. And just a couple of numbers here. We went from 33 girls team in 2016 to 72 in 2017, and then 124 last year in 2019. If you could give one piece of advice to young female players of the SMJFL, what would it be?
Oh, wow. One piece of advice. No, I can't stick with one. Look, I think for anyone playing the game, whether it's a young boy or girl, there's got to be an enjoyment and fun factor attached to it. I think there's also, and I think a lot of that enjoyment fun factor gets from experiencing a whole different range of positions and roles and the like. So if anything, I'd say just don't get pigeonholed too early. I think we can do that too much in sport. I got pigeonholed as a bowler because I sort of saw this, part West Indian tall kid coming into the game, and I wasn't a bowler. I didn't have the ticker, I don't think. I was more of a batter. And I think just having that all-round ability to be able to play in the front, so this is probably more to coaches as well as players, but get people experiencing different roles, because even though they might not eventually fit that role, they'll understand it a lot more. And I think that certainly helps with that team cohesion that we're talking about as well. So there's playing the game on the field, and there's doing all the other things off the field as well. So if you feel as if you want to get involved with exec and things like that, you don't have to get into the nitty gritty of it all, but just sit in on a meeting, get to know the clubland as much as you possibly can. But yeah, most importantly, there's got to be that fun enjoyment element.
I love that. Absolutely. And I think that's the beauty about sport, just the versatility. There's so many things you can do for cricket, batter, bowler, fielder, footy, back pocket, even just a coach or a manager. There's so many different roles and elements to sport that, that can suit you. So it's good to try everything, I guess.
Yeah, and that's it. And other sports too. I put the fact that my mum got me involved in gymnastics and little athletics early doors certainly helped my cricket career, you know, just body awareness and all those sorts of things as well. You play a little bit of individual sports, so you get a different element of, you know, your own personal development as well. So I'm not saying dump footy, still keep playing footy in the winter, but during the summer, have a bit of a play with other sports as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, to finish off, now I've heard you're a Hawks fan. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's a really look. It wasn't because they were magnificent. Like I'm getting on a bit, so I've backed for them for a while. It was really silly. I think I was grade 2, and my favourite colour, surprise, surprise, is yellow. So I thought, and this is the mindset of someone in grade 2, that I would save on face paint if I went to a footy game. So that is the only reason why I backed for Hawthorn, and I just stuck with them ever since. So it wasn't because I loved a certain player, although Surioli has been my all-time favourite player. So yeah, it was a stupid reason to back for a footy team, but it's obviously paid off.
Well, it has. Yeah, that three-peat was iconic. So, Mel, thank you so much for coming on today. I know that I've loved speaking to you, and I hope everyone at home enjoys hearing your story and a bit of advice for the young community members, and all the best with what's to come. I know you're very busy, and there's a lot in the pipeworks for cricket and Cricket Australia and Essendon Maribyrnong Park. So thank you so much, and all the best with everything.
Absolute pleasure. And to everyone listening in, look, thanks for listening to me waffle on as well. Get out in the backyard. Remember, it's not just the dominant hand. Keep going with the non-dominant feet, hands, do the whole gamut. Get yourselves ready for the first time you can hit the park, but all the best with it.
Thanks, Mel. Now it's time to recognise the Storage King Volunteer of the Year. Volunteers are an integral part of our league, and playing our great games simply would not be possible without our many volunteers around Clubland. This award is presented by SMJFL Premier Partner Storage King and is awarded to an individual who has shown exceptional hard work and dedication to their club. 2020 has been a challenging year for us all, and volunteers have never been more important. I'd like to welcome Storage King Victoria Area Manager Sarah Fuel to say a few words.
Thanks, Cam. This year, we are proud to present the 2020 Storage King Volunteer of the Year Award to Steve Folds from East Malvern Junior Football Club. Steve was not only the president of the club for 4 years, but has also been the OSCE coordinator and team manager. Steve has been with the East Malvern Junior Football Club for 7 years now, and we were blown away by his commitment to the club.
Congratulations, Steve. How does it feel to be recognised as the Storage King Volunteer of the Year?
To win it, look, let's recognise all volunteers in every club, because as an individual to win it, that's humbling. But to me, in our own club, we've probably got 400 or 500, let alone multiply that out by the rest of the league. And I'm just blown away by the commitment of so many people in every club. And it's just great to be part of something where people give back week in, week out. You know, they're all volunteers. So, and to Storage King, couldn't have had a better supporter of this award. They're a wonderful company. Thank you for the award. A little bit embarrassed, to be honest, because I was going to congratulate someone else. I thought there was a panel of 3 or 4, and I had a speech ready to thank someone else. But no, look, again, it's been an extremely tough year for just every football club, I suppose, to get things up and going. You know, once the COVID hit, we were sanitising balls. We were trying to run clinics with tens, and had people trying to get so many more coaches to get involved, and individual awards. I get embarrassed, to be honest. So,
well, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit more, and if you could just elaborate a little bit about what you do to volunteer around the club.
Well, what we recognised many years ago, that people were becoming time poor. So one of the initiatives we put in place was online ordering for merchandise. So rather than the long queues at the club at the start of the season or opening day, by going online, people could pick up at the canteen on the weekend. We're removing the cash from the club, which was, I thought, an important thing to do. We put, FPOS machines in the canteen, in the merch area. And by online, I think what I was able to do this year in the short period we were open, I think we sold close to $28,000 worth of merch. And The merch includes the socks from ISC, another contributor to the South Metro Junior Football League, and the shorts, so socks and shorts. We had tracksuits, beanies, caps. So what I did was I actually put it all in my own warehouse and picked and packed and dropped it off at a house where people could just bring their ticket along that had their name on it, and away they go. So we were able to do that in a short period. And when you're only selling, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 in merch a year, to get rid of nearly half of that, that's going to help the club going forward because they're not sitting on too much stock.
Well, that's amazing of you and the club, because as you say, it's not an easy time for anyone. So just a little bit goes a long way. So good on you, Steve. And to finish off, can you tell us just a bit about what being a club volunteer at East Malvern means to you? Why is it so important?
To me, it's always been about the kids. And whilst that's the South Metro Junior League motto, I think it's that's what we hold pretty strong at East Malvern. The culture and the retention of children is important. This year first time we had 3 under-16s, and we look like we'll have 2 under-17s next year. So the retention of the boys and girls throughout the club is important. The growth's also important, but you've got to be able to manage and sustain that. And when you get back to the point about volunteers, I think I look back at our club and I'm just amazed at how many people, the first people to put their hand up, and then when you go to other clubs and we're all wearing the bibs and you recognise those that do it day in and day out. We hosted finals last year for the first time, and 100 people put their hand up straight away to work on different things at the club. And yeah, look, to me, I've had young boys at the club, so I've got one left there, and he'll play under 17s next year. So I think it's important to give back. And hope that we can pass on some skills to the next generation. And we're very fortunate that the league has so many other people behind, helping as well. And it all goes well for the future for junior football.
Well said. And congratulations, Steve. It's very well deserved. And thank you to our many volunteers who make our league possible. You're all absolute superstars. So thank you also to Storage King for supporting this award and for supporting the league in such a challenging year. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you. Well done, Steve.
Now it's time to present our third award of the evening, the OpenCorp Club Administrator of the Year. Although the 2020 season didn't get off the ground in its traditional format, there was an incredible amount of work done by club administrators behind the scenes across the board. The OpenCorp Club Administrator of the Year award is awarded to a club administrator who has contributed a significant amount of time and effort to the running of their club. Cam McLellan, Director of OpenCorp, has a message for us.
Cam McLellan here. At OpenCorp, we're so proud to be supporting the 2020 Club Administrator of the Year award and the valuable contribution club administrators make to the junior footy community. We can't wait to see everyone back at Clubland in 2021.
The winner was voted by the SMJFL staff, and we have the nominees joining us live. How is everybody doing? Awesome. Well, thank you all again for joining us this evening. We'll have a look over the nominees. So first up, we have Narelle Warren from St. Peter's Junior Football Club. We have Kelly Lee from Dingley Junior Football Club, Danny Egan from Murrumbina Junior Football Club, and Alistair Smythe from Hampton Rovers AFC. And drum roll, please, the SMJFL Club Administrator of the Year is Kelly Lee from Dingley Junior Football Club. Kelly is the treasurer at Dingley Junior Football Club and has contributed tirelessly to the club over the past 5 years. Kelly has been described as the backbone of the club. Congratulations, Kelly. How does it feel to be recognised?
A bit strange. Oops, can you hear me?
Yep.
Everyone contributes. So it's not, it's a bit awkward, I suppose, because everyone contributes just as much as everyone else would. A great club at Dingley, everyone puts in, and it's a great environment. It's fun to do, and just like everyone else at every other club, you do it because you like doing it, not because you have to do it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. It's without you guys, we the kids may not even have a game or be able to get on the park on the weekend. So thank you, Kelly, and thank you to everyone, and congratulations to you all. thank you to not only yourselves, but the rest of your club administrators as well. The amount of work you all do and your efforts never go unnoticed. So we're so thankful to have so many committed club administrators in our community. So thank you again. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
There are many players in the SMJFL that would have played their 10th season in 2020. Although that unfortunately was not possible in its traditional format, we would still like the opportunity to honour those players here tonight. Although 2020 hasn't been quite what we all expected, there has been a lot for us to celebrate at the SMJFL. We cannot wait to get back on the field in 2021, but in the meantime, we hope you all stay well and safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the new year.